Hello and welcome to the introduction video of Blender. To let you know, if you can't follow along with what I'm saying, you can look down here and see what keys I'm pressing. So let's get started. To start off with, to able to get around in Blender, you hold down mouse wheel button. You can rotate around the object or around the screen. And if you want to actually move around in the screen, you hold down Shift. And somehow this isn't working. Okay. Yeah, well, you hold down Shift. Don't know why it isn't coming up down there. And you can pan around your screen. And to select the object, you have to right click on it. But this cube is already selected, so to able deselect what object you got, hit A to deselect or A to select all. And to get into edit mode, you've got two ways of doing that. You can go down here and click on edit mode, and you can go into edit mode, or you can hit tab and you can go into edit mode or go back to object mode. When you're in edit mode, let's say if I had another cube, move it along here, and I come out of edit mode. Now, yeah, let me put that back. Now, if I deselect, I think, and I select one object, because I was in edit mode, it linked to the first object that was selected, or whatever object I did have selected when I was in edit mode. So if you want to get rid of that, you can just go ahead and delete it. Let's say it isn't selected and you want to delete it, but you can't bother to go around and select every point of it. You can hit 1 on a D-pad and 5 to go into orthographical through. And if you hit Z, it goes into wireframe mode, and you can hit B and select everything there, and then hit D and delete faces. And when you come out of that, and you saw in wireframe mode, just hit C again, and as you can see, the screen looks a bit funny, so hit 5 again and it comes out of that. And if you decide you need to add a background image, let's say you're modeling something, you can go down to here where you can add a background image, tick that box, click on here, and then go open, and then locate your file. And you might wonder, well, I don't see anything. So if you hit 1 on the D-pad, or 1, 2, or even 7, and let's say you hit 1, but you don't want to really be modeling that side. You want to be modeling that side. All you do is hit Tab on 1, and it's put you on the opposite side. Same thing for 3 and 7. So, and if you want to see the picture, you have to be in orthographical through, so you can actually see the picture. And look at that. Alright. Another thing is, let's say when you are in here, you can just mouse wheel and it just takes you out of it straight away. And alright, let's get ahead of let's explain a couple of things down here. Right, you got your edge, so you can select edges and stuff. And if you want to undo something, you hit Control and Z. Put that back. Same. Hang on. No, that edges and that vertex. So you've got your vertex. Sorry, vertex, edges, and your faces or polygons. So let's undo that. So let's say we want to start modeling. How do we do that? Most cases when you start modeling, you're going to want extrude faces. So let's say I want. So okay, so let's say the thing here, it can be bloody irritating, like going everywhere, and then you want to add a new thing to the scene, it will drop it wherever that is. So if you ever want to get that back to center, you hit not that button, Control no Shift and S, center to cursor to center, and it puts it back to center. Right. So if you want, oh, keep doing it. Right. If you want to extrude this face, all you do is hit E, and you can extrude it. But let's say if I have multiple faces selected, and I want to extrude all of them, there's no, I mean, you don't want to extrude it like that. You can go into, I think it is Alt and E, and you can extrude into visual faces, and it will extrude out like that. But now if you go hit S, it scales it in, it scales it all in together. If you don't really want it to do that, but you want it to scale on its own faces, if you know what I mean, you can go down here and select this one here and hit S, and you can scale along the faces like that. Another thing is when you do extrude each faces separately like that, you will have faces in the middle. What can, depending on what you're doing, it can have some issues and stuff. So you can always go around and delete them. Like, I'll do that. So if you want to delete them, to go into wireframe mode, and you can delete them. But hey, what else? Yeah, if you want to bevel, you can hit. Yeah, put this back to default. If you want to bevel, you hold down, I believe, Control and B, and you pull that out, and it will bevel the edges. So you can make like some sort of ammo box or something like that. And extrude them down, scale them in. Oh yeah, X to scale in and out. If you want to extrude on its own, E. If you don't like the faces, you can hit X and delete them like that, or you can actually hit delete and delete them like that. If I go to delete let's say vertex, it will delete its random areas. Especially if you're on the faces selection down here. But if you wanted to delete edges, it do the same thing. I don't know. Just had to fiddle and learn with that. Best way to learn is by getting into Blender and doing stuff and trying new things out. But yeah, alright, let's extrude this. Is another cool tool. Right. Oh, let's say if you want to select from here and here, right? You can hold down Control and right click. Okay, I'm going to do it that way. But yeah. What? Yeah. So you can. What I was trying to explain is like you can do it like Control and select everything in the middle, but seeming as it kind of wanted to go down here and it can work. So you do select there, and you can do. No, it's damn it. Alright, but there's an helping. Let's delete them. Delete faces. Yep. Let's say you got something like this, but you want it to come out again, but I don't know. Let's say you wanted to connect these points up together, right? All you do is go into edge mode, select each side, and you can hit F, and keep doing that. Depending on how big you got to fill in, sometimes that can be awkward. So what you can do instead is go into vertex mode, select each vertex. It got to be the same amount of vertex. So let's say if there's another vertex here or something, it won't work. So you can hit spacebar and fill and grid fill. No, that isn't working. Why isn't that working? And let's try it. Okay, hang on. That should work. Let's try this. Hang on. Delete that face. Alright, now Let's see if it works. It might have been because it was a single plane on itself, face on it. And so let's try that again. No. Well, that sometimes works anyway. Don't know why that isn't working. Let's try it like that sound. Don't know why that isn't working. But yeah, you can do this. If it don't work, you can just go around manually and just fill it. F to bridge the gaps together. And you can see it kind of different color. Oh, that might be why. Probably the normals and third. If you select like you can see the colors a little bit different here and here with the rest of everything. So I'm guessing the normals here are different. So select them, and you can go. I think it's somewhere in here. Give me a sec. Flip normals. Oh no, click top one for that if that's happening. Let's say the reason for that is, let me just select these and flip them. Alright, now if we go into texture mode, render mode, I don't know. What I was trying to explain is it can, depending on the settings and stuff, it will be invisible depending on what way you're looking at it. So if you're modeling for a game engine, so if you want to make sure the normals are facing the right way, and you can do that as well in next panel. If you haven't got next panel up, you can hit N. Same one for this one is T. Go down there, click on, scale them up a little bit, and you can see what way the normals are facing. You don't really see lines coming out up here, so it's saying pretty much they facing inwards. To flip them around, we do that, and we have the normals facing the right way around now. So what you want to do is always have the lines pointing out from the center of the object, pretty much from not the object, from the face. If you can't see it, most likely the normals are inverted, and you're going to have to manually flip them. So if you're having problems when you're doing render and stuff like that, and like part of your model is invisible and stuff, and you don't want it like that, just flip them around. So get rid of that, and yeah, if you wanted to move anything, you can. Let's say you've got this and we want to move it. You can always move it with the arrows here, or you can do G for grab, and let's say we got down here we've got Z, X and Y. Let's say we want only move it along the Y. We hit the Y and you can move it directly along the Y. And let's say you wanted to get perfectly correct and you try and connect things up, you can always go down here. There's like a little magnet tool, horseshoe magnet. You can click on that, and what you can do is you've got these settings here to choose from. So you can make it snap to vertex, edges, faces, and other stuff here. So if you want to move it along the grid, this one here allows you to move it along the grid. So it snaps along the grid, and it works in every direction. And yeah, if you wanted to scale things, I think I said S scales. If you wanted to rotate, R is to rotate, but you hit R and it rotates weird. You can hit R twice and it rotates differently again, or you could just hit X, probably because I hit it twice. Alright, you can hit R once, and then you want to rotate it around the X axis. You can do that. Y, you can do that, and Z. And another cool trick is, let's say you've got a face. Don't have that again. Alright, you've got a face here, but you want to intrude it. All you do is hit I, and it pretty much, what it does is extrude, but it scales in at the same time. You can always go into E, so you extrude 0, so it isn't moving anywhere, so it get in a position of 0 where it started, and you hit enter, and you could go in and scale down. That can be useful for multiple 3D modeling packages when you're getting used to it and you don't know the right hotkeys or the commands or whatnot. So that's a cool technique. Let's say we intrude that a bit more. Let's say we wanted like a little bit of smoothing around here. We could just always select one point, hold down Control, and oh, okay, not going to be nice about it. Right, we could just always move them back a little bit. But I think what happened here is it's seeming, I think I extruded twice or something, so it kind of been iffy. Like yeah, when you oh come on, no. So yeah, when you see stuff like this happening, it means you got two faces overlapping one another. When it definitely when you see these kind of shrieks, like you can see this pattern here, got two faces overlapping, and it can be a pain, but depending on what you're modelling and where it is on the model, if it's somewhere where the player or the render isn't going to see it, it's fine. But it's better off not to even have that. So, well, I think probably the way I extruded it earlier and stuff, it probably messed it up, and that's probably why it wasn't working with the fill grid. So let's delete this and start again. Do cube. Yeah. So let's say okay, I'm going to show you some basic modeling techniques now. So let's say I want to extrude this a little bit, right? But I want the edge smooth, like I was saying. You hit I to scale that in a little bit, and now you select the outer edges. You just bring them in a little bit. And if you want to make, let's say, I wish I extruded it twice. You can't. The perfect how it is, but you just want to extrude it twice and add a little bit more curve to it. All you could do is hit Control and R, what makes a loop cut, and enter once will. Oh, sorry, let me redo that. So you Control and R, you can choose from 1. If you hit 2, 3, oh god, right. So you can have 1 cut, backspace to get rid of 1, 2. Let's say if I wanted 23, that's after you hit 2, you put 3 in and so on. But you didn't want that, you go back and you can put whatever number in you want. So you hit enter, and that will allow you to move it wherever you want without actually deforming the faces at the moment. But let's say up here and I wanted that, so now you just hit 0 and it puts a bang in and turn that again. So you hit enter again, and then you can scale that up a little bit and then find it out a little bit more. That all it is really is just finding out details. And let's say I want to extrude this up, but I wanted this longer, I can just drag that out a bit more. Now let's say I like the height of this. The height of that is brilliant, but I kind of want like a bit what goes in here and comes out. I mean, so it kind of goes in. So you kind of like want a bit of a wall on each side. way to do that is Control and R, loop cut, enter 2, hit enter again, and then you can do S to scale, and depending on depending on what access you have here and stuff, you want to scale along to whatever access of what way you want the wall's thickness to be. So mine is the red one, was X, so I'm going to want to hit S and X and scale that out a bit. Oh, that's perfect, I like that. So let's go along here. Now, two ways you can select things is you can hold down shift and you can select multiple selections, or the way I like to do it when I can is holding down control and you can select multiple like area, so it kind of fills in the area where you're selecting. So that's kind of cool, kind of handy. So let's delete that. And like earlier I was saying about the bridge tool, all you do is hang on, there we go. Need to make sure you're on edge mode, and then select each edges from opposite from each other, and you fill them in with F to bridge them. I'm not sure if that's the right term for Blender, but I know it's for Cinema 4D. And now let's say I kind of want it to dip in a little bit here. I can just do 2 enter, and now say I only want the top bit to dip in, but I don't want the bottom to dip in. So instead of doing it like that, I don't want that to happen. You just go select it, click there, right click, and then control, and select other, and then select that. Let's say, oh, okay, I don't want it along that. I don't want it dip in that shallow, or whatever. Just go along. You want it steeper. You want dip to be a bit steeper, and you don't want it bang in the middle like that. That's perfect. And let's say I want to add like a little sight here or something. I can scale that up, and I could. A couple of ways I can do it is X, and scale that in. I could just have a sight like that, or I could have it up a little bit more. And let's say I kind of want to have it hollowed out a little bit. Put that in there, and now select each side, and now we hit I, scale it in a little bit, and now we delete the faces, and like earlier we just basically bridge the gaps together. Let's say, oh, that's almost perfect, and I can round it up, but do exactly the same thing down here pretty much. So we add a loop cut up here, drag that up a little bit. Oh, that looking a bit steep, I'm not liking that. So add another loop cut here, and we add another one here, and we select them and we move them up. And that pretty much what it is with 3D modeling, is it's about scale and just modifying things as you go. Really, once you learn the shortcuts, the hotkeys, and the tools, things get easier, a lot easier. Let's say I want to dip in a bit here. I can do that as well. Like so. Let's say I wanted to kind of have a little bit of a crosshair in the middle of that. I can do that. Nothing is like when it kind of dipping in like that and you don't want it flat, what you could do is hit S and I think it's Z, yep, Z and 0, and that will flatten that out. And here now, and then we can just scale that along in a little bit. That kind of looking nice-ish. And we could do, bevel these up a little bit, Control and B. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Really, it's about getting in there, fiddling with it till it looks right. A lot of times when you're looking at images as well, you can lose a lot of detail what is actually there because it's all flat and you can't see what around things. So you want to look up multiple images when you're modeling, so you got a good idea what you really actually what your aim is to model. So if you really wanted to model a gun, you'll get, let's say, 20 to 30 odd different pictures of the same gun but different angles. No, I mean, that's pretty much that's it. Just gonna go over, and I'm not even really sure. I'm not even basing it off anything, so it's probably going to come out looking bad. But yeah, I'm gonna just fiddle with this for a bit, using the same techniques I showed you. I may end up speeding it up, I'm not sure. Nothing is, let's say when I was extruding it like that, if I don't want to extrude it like that, like it going up at a slope, what I do is hit 0, so it's scaling along nowhere, hit enter, and then just drag it out, so pretty much going to go along that axis what I told it to, and I'm not liking the way it isn't flat here, so X and Y and 0, flatten that out, perfect. Just get that out a little bit. Another technique is, I'll show you in a second, is all you can do is select these, E, enter, so they're not going anywhere, and then just go along the Y to drag them together somewhat. Let's say instead of hitting F to bridge them together, what we can do is right click and hit Alt and M. You've got different settings here. You can do it to the last one, so it joins up to the last point you selected, or you can do it to the first point you selected, or even better yet, you can do it to center, so they join up at the center. And in my case, I like the center one. And let's see if the fill grid fill works now. I'm hoping it will. No, I don't know how that works. I'm pretty sure it works like that, but it doesn't really want it to work for me. Yeah, select them. Oh, and then we go down a little bit. Same thing with these ones. Another thing is you don't have to hover right over the dot, you can actually kind of select it a little bit away. I mean, so if your cursor is over, you can sort of select it somewhat. And let's say I'm not liking the way empty down here, so select the faces along here and here. Extrude them down a little bit. Kind of want it a bit more thin. And same thing really. E and R, S, X. Scale them in. Delete the faces so there's hidden faces in the middle. And probably quicker to do it like this instead of merging them. Like in every 3D modeling program, you should able to modify the should able to select the faces and edges and vertex. With game engines as well, when you're modeling for game engines, a lot of time it will change your mesh to triangles, and when you're modeling, triangles are really bad. You don't want them at all because it's really hard to. It can be a pain in the back trying to model things with triangles. It's better to actually have it in quads. So you don't want triangles or n-gons. You probably wondering what n-gons are. Yeah, let me show you. N-gon is, let's say, select here and merge at center. Now we got, pretty sure there's n-gon or 6 star. I think let's say I'll cut it from here. Add that in. There you go. That's n-gon. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 6 line along it. The n-gons, you want to stay away from n-gons as much as you can. And it's, where it joins up like this, you don't really want it like that either. So yeah, this is pretty much how you model anyway. Just always in quads, and then later on, if you need to, if you export into a game engine, convert it to a triangle mesh, but make sure you have a backup so you can modify things easier. The reason why you want to convert it to triangles is, I know with Unity, when you export your models out, it can mess up the UVs. What UVs are is pretty much, let's say I skin this, so this is all out on a flat piece of paper, like a how do you explain it? Like a bit like skinning an animal or something. So all flat out. That's a UV, and then you texture over the UV, and really it's saying, hey, let's say I UV wrap it and UV wrap it. This here would have a coordinate in a 2D picture, and anything on that coordinate will display on here as long as you added that texture. nothing here like if I wanted to select, yeah, there we go. Alright, I did want to select this part, move it up a little bit. Simple enough. I kind of want to move this up a little as well. Get out of that. Now if we want to add some sort of trigger. Yeah, I know this actually really don't make any sense either with like some sort of thing stopping you from able to push the trigger, but hey, it's just off the top of my head. Really, I wouldn't plan on making a gun or anything. I would definitely have some sort of resource to check on, so I'm making sure I'm modeling things correctly. But then if you do modeling things what aren't even in the real world, you want to add in, what are they called, concept art. So you draw it out first, and you get a good idea of what you're aiming for, and does it look right, instead of going out and modeling it, what can be quite a bit time consuming. Oh, another thing is, let's say I select this and I'm miles or off, or I can't quite see it how I want. If I full stop or period on a numpad, it zooms you right into it, and sometimes like when you zoom in out and stuff, it moves slower and stuff like that, or when you zoom in, it's hard to actually try and line up. So hit 0 and it takes you right to it, and it pretty much resets. I don't know, like sometimes moving around can be a bit awkward, so if you're trying to fiddle on stuff, that's a good way of doing it. Or don't do anything when that thing's selected. So really, for adding like the smooth areas, you just kind of have like a square polygon there. No, that will, yep. No, it is pretty much. It is. I mean, it isn't really that complicated once you really get into it. But once you're starting out, it just trying to break everything down and understand it all was the most complicated part. It is always better to have some reference if you can. To try and model off your head, like you can see right now, it don't make any sense. You can see it looks like somewhat of a gun, but to be honest, in my eyes, it's like where logic in it is like the handle thing here. You know, I mean, you can't really pull the trigger very well. I mean, it's like the scope that makes sense. Where's that part there? I mean, but yeah. And up top here, you can see your triangles was always double amount of faces you have. So you can keep track of your polygon count and your triangle count. Really, what triangle count is pretty much that. But see the number? You're not going to change it if I do that. That if you hit Control and T, that triangulate everything what you made, whatever was selected. I think it is. What is it? I can't remember how to triangulate it. Is it J, no, Alt and J. Alt and J, and oh, it's all got a triangle here, and I can move that up. And somehow it don't want to get rid of that. That's how, don't like that. I'm going to undo that. There we go. So sometimes when you triangulate things, it won't untriangulate. What can be a pain, but definitely for UVs, because you can't go and then go, right, I'm going to remove that and then put that there. You've got to pretty much whatever UV you put there, you got to put back in the so whatever face you remove, you've got to put back in the right place in the UV coordinates, so it can be a pain. But that's all it is. It just get into it, to try it out, jump in it, and just, I don't know, just get in there and fiddle with stuff. That's how you learn. I mean, that's the best way to learn. If you're not doing anything, you're not going to find new techniques or see what is actually working out well for you. Just experiment. I mean, that's how things are invented. If you're not trying something new, you're not going to learn something new. So to get out there and try new things. Now look, you can see around here, it's very flat and it's like dull and boring. So all you do is pretty much coming in, just want to add a bit more detail into that. Yep, say like there, I was having troubles moving around, so I did full stop on the numpad. If you're having problems with numpad, either try hitting numlock if that is not working. If you're on a laptop, you got a FN key, and sometimes your letters may have numbers. Like on a laptop, you won't have a numpad sometimes. So sometimes your letters may work as your numbers. So do keep that in mind. Let's root this out. Oh, good. Well, what's going on there? Right. E and 0 and X. Yeah, not going to work like that, so getting it, move. It's probably better off to do the same on the other side. Move them up. Move them out. Move these ones up. And it taking its own form on. That, I mean, longer you spend on something, more detail you can add into it and stuff like that. So just get into it and try new things. I don't know, hit the keyboard and see what happens. See if you can reproduce the same thing twice. Yeah, don't like that part. Alright. And pretty much for a barrel, what you're going to do, add a cylinder in. Down here, you have a couple of settings. You have how many polygons the cylinder is pretty much there. You got n-gons. Nope, I hate n-gons. Triangle faces. I don't like triangles, but triangles are better than n-gons in my opinion. So set that as triangles, and now the center's gone if you move it. So hey, alright, then we want to rotate that 90. I think it along the X. Yep, and scale that down. There you can hit C to select, have like a little brush and you can select things. Kind of handy sometimes. Extrude that out. Actually, we didn't need to extrude that out. We drag it out. Now we hit E to extrude that out, and now we hit probably offer E and S. So I still have my selection, and now I extrude that in, and there you go. Now what I want to do is line it up to this as pretty much bang on as well as I can. So I'll turn on the magnet tool, and what selection am I on? Faces. So yep, have it on faces, and I want it to line up. Is that snapping? That isn't snapping. So go into the vertex, and now we snap. Oh, yeah, snap to that vertex. Come on, snap. Maybe I have to be in wireframe mode. Come on, line up. What's going on here? It isn't snapping. Ah, damn it. Alright. Well, oh well. That isn't working for me. Move that down. And now what I want to do, yeah, move that in the back, inside the gun. And what I'm going to do is pretty much delete this part here. Oh, right, come out of that. 0 to, not 0, full stop on that. Yeah, that. Oh, yep. Yeah, oh, give me a sec. Right. I need to add another loop cut. What's going on here? Alright. Add a loop cut there, and now we add. No, don't want to add that one. We want to add one in the middle. Move that up a bit. Alright, now we go back into this through and try and line that up nicely. Right. Now we're going to delete these ones here. And now we're going to come out of that. And what we're going to do is go back in vertex mode if my mouse is going to let me. Select edge down here, 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 and And now we're going to scale along the Y. So we bring them in a little bit. Get out of that mode. And bridge them together. Yeah, I think this video is kind of getting on a little bit, so I'm going to probably end it after this. Unless there's anything else I can think of while I'm doing this. And will I got a basic ugly gun because I wasn't following any reference images. But yeah, that is pretty much how you model, and it's getting the hang of Blender. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If I didn't explain myself very well or get to the point quick enough, just let me know in the comments below, and I may remake this video and try and make it a bit more simpler, as I did kind of rumble on and I didn't really have any idea of what I was going to do, so I just kind of wanted to get this video out there. I did promise I was going to show an introduction to Blender and stuff, and I believe I kind of hit on the subject. But if I didn't do it well enough, just let me know if you want another video or not. Alright, thank you for watching. See you later. Oh, okay, that isn't going to work in there. Haha. Oh, the wrong button anyway. Alright, catch you later.